Hey friends, this is Dave Shane, Master of Pipes, here tuning in from the Pipery. And I've had a lot of people ask me of late about the basics of pipe smoking. Really, how to do it well and how to do it in a way that you don't get tongue bite. If you don't know what that is, basically, sometimes when you smoke, you get stinging or almost like you've burned your tongue. And there's a lot of ways or a lot of factors that play into why that happens. Sometimes it's the tobacco, so if you're smoking something that's highly aromatic, that can cause a lot of tongue bite because of the sugar content. Sugar tends to burn hotter, and so you may get bite from that. Sometimes those aromatics are really moist, and so not only are you getting smoke in your draw, but you're also getting steam, which can affect the tongue bite too. Then, some tobaccos just don't agree with people. For example, I don't like burley, or it's not that I don't like it, but it doesn't like me. When I smoke it, I get tongue bite, I get sort of a scratchiness in my throat from it. So, so I pretty much avoid most burleys. So you have to experiment on the different kinds of tobacco to figure out what is best for you. Something else that I try to recommend to new smokers is to try what I would consider better quality tobaccos. So, for example, one of my favorite tobaccos is Escudo. Escudo comes in a coin like this. There's actually two coins, and the way you prepare this is you put it in your hand, you rub your hands together in a sort of a circular motion, and that causes it to spring up. So there you go, you can kind of see it, springy, and makes it easier to pack. And the great thing about Escudo or other similar flakes is that they're drier. They tend to burn more consistently, and they're easier to keep lit than a lot of wet aromatics. And as they're wet, it takes multiple relights to get your pipe going well with the aromatics. And a lot of times also what I find is that new guys that are smoking aromatics and they're trying to get them lit, they tend to puff really hard in order to get those tobaccos lit. And in that process, then they're also getting a lot of tongue bite by some heavy puffing on their pipe. And so today we're going to talk about essentially how to smoke our pipe and how to have a good slow cadence, but also what we call slow sipping your pipe. So while I talk about that, I'm loading up that Escudo. A general medium-sized pipe will hold about 2 flakes of Escudo, and so you can kind of see there, packed up my Rad Davis with about 2 coins of Escudo. And so as we begin, you want to get your charring light going, basically just starting to get it lit on the top. So I'm going to do that. Alright, okay, gotta tamp it. When you tamp, you're just gonna lightly push the tobacco back down in the bowl, and you want to draw when you tamp. I see a lot of guys that are like bop bop bop, and they put their pipe out and they gotta relight it. But if you're drawing while you're tamping, it tends to stay lit better. Okay, so I got my charring light. I'm gonna do a second light, and that's normal. Okay, a lot of times you have to light it, and then you tamp it, you draw it, goes out a little bit, and then you relight it. And again, I'm going to tamp. Lightly while I draw. And if you notice, I'm taking long, slow draws. I get a lot of smoke from that too. Just nice, long, and slow. No matter what I'm smoking, I want to smoke it like that. I want to smoke it slow and just taking your long, slow sips, like you're taking a sip off of a hot cup of coffee. And that's going to be true for any style of pipe, bent pipe, straight pipe, whatever. I've heard guys discuss whether using matches or a lighter can cause heat differentiation in your pipe. I don't think it really matters. I mean, they're still fire. Both of them are still fire, so they're hot. Some people like to use matches because they think it's not as hot as a lighter, and therefore your chances of getting tongue bite are a lot less. But I really think it has more to do with tobacco and the way that you smoke. So again, taking those long, slow draws. And tamping while you draw. Now when I packed this, I tend to do a consistent pack. Some guys will do like light at the bottom and then medium and then heavy on top or whatever. I do consistent all the way through my bowls. So I just put it in there and I just, if you think about like just tapping yourself on the shoulder, that's how hard I'm putting the tobacco into the bowl. Also, something that's really good about flakes or Virginia tobaccos, and I'd say not just flakes and Virginias, but Orientals, Latakia, Englishes, things that are not aromatic. They tend to burn better and longer, and you can smoke them without a lot of relights. Now, if you're having a conversation with somebody, the chances of it going out are a lot higher. But if you're just sitting there smoking by yourself, the chances of these things staying lit are a lot higher than aromatics because of the moisture content in aromatic tobaccos. And if you are smoking and you're not getting a lot of smoke, chances are you need to tamp your tobacco. Because what happens is, as you smoke, you have this hot coal on the top of the tobacco, and that tends to rise up off of the tobacco, and so you have to lightly push it back down. If you've ever filled your bowl all the way up and you've lit it, you notice that it kind of domes up on the top and all that lifts up off of there. The same thing happens all throughout the bowl, and that's why it's important to continually tamp it back down and just do that really lightly and draw while you're doing it. I try to tamp it as light as I possibly can and just push that down without stomping it out. I've had guys ask about my lighter. Any kind of lighter at work, any kind of soft flame lighter at work. I happen to have a Zippo, but it's got a Z-pipe insert, so it's got a butane insert in it. See that? You can fill it up just like any other kind of butane lighter. I've been using this same Z-pipe for about 2 years, which is pretty amazing to me, because it cost me like $15. Runs off butane. It does pretty well in the wind, and just a nice flame out of it. So, and it'll fit into any Zippo. And there you go. That's how we smoke the pipe. Well, thanks guys for tuning in, and hopefully we'll get some more exciting stuff going on. But knowing how to smoke your pipe the right way out of the gate is important, and a lot of guys struggle in the beginning. You just don't know how to load it well. You don't know how to smoke it well. You know, I don't know how many times I've seen guys that are like, and you know, by the end their tongue is just scalded. That's not how we want to smoke. We want to take our time. Nice, long, slow draws. And there's a lot of inexpensive options out there that are not aromatics. And don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against aromatics. There's a few that I enjoy to smoke, but there are very few that don't give me tongue bite. And, you know, especially if you're going to smoke multiple bowls in a day, I'd rather not get tongue bite first bowl out and then have my tongue suffer throughout the rest of the day or whatever. So, you know, if you find some flakes or some orientals or different things that smoke well for you without giving you tongue bite, then you're going to have a more enjoyable experience in the long run. And then you just sprinkle those aromatics in through your process. And if you need any recommendations, comment below. Hit me up on my Instagram, which is The Pipery, or on my Facebook, which is The Pipery. And I'd be happy to help anybody out with any types of questions. All right, guys, well, I'm going to finish this bowl and enjoy it, and I will hopefully be posting something up soon. Catch you later.